Krista is a good friend, and I look up to her as a fellow runner and mother, and also as a strong Christian. Please join me in welcoming Krista Duchene, also known as the Marathon Mom.
I'm going to talk and show some slides of some of my races. I did a presentation back in the spring called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And so I think we can all relate to different challenges in life, or times where things have been going really well, and then something falls apart and it doesn't go so well. So I've definitely had races that were good, races that were bad, races that were ugly, and then I've had a combination of all three. This race here is, we're starting with the good ones. This was back in 2009 when our second child was a year old. And what was really neat about this marathon is that it was my first one back after having Seth. So he's in the back there with the blue blanket. He's about 14 months old. I was still nursing him. And I won the race. So that was the Mississauga Marathon, and it was on Mother's Day. So that's when I got the title Marathon Mom. So a few more good races. These are in 2013. I think I had personal best in about 5 distances. So I did the 5K in Burlington on the left, and then I ran the half marathon out in Vancouver in a time of 70:52, and then, as Tara said before, the record that Lainey and I set back in October. Recently was the World Championships last year, so both Lainey and I, you can see her in the picture, we're at the front. I'm kind of with the red hat, and she's beside me with no hat, and then another marathon mom, Mary Davies from New Zealand, who just had her second child, she was there. So our plan was to stick together, but unfortunately, myself and about 22 other women out of a field of about 75 weren't able to finish that race that day due to the extreme heat. So, you know, another challenge. At the end of April, getting ready for this race, I had a little bit of a pain at the top of my leg, but like many runners and athletes, you have aches and pains that often come right before you're going to run, and you think it's in your head. You know, you stretch it out or get massaged, and it usually goes away. But this one was a little bit different. And with about 500 meters to go, like finish line in sight, a nightmare of a story, I couldn't put any weight on the leg at all. Just, it was so painful. So I hopped on the right leg, and I remember someone saying, "Crawl if you have to," and I thought, you bet I will. I had no idea what was wrong, just a leg was sore. So looking back, it's a completely crazy story. It was like headline news, and the YouTube video had like thousands of views, and so I hobbled my way over the finish line, and then just got scooped up, and basically just couldn't move because it was so painful. Went to emerge in Montreal, and got there about 3 o'clock. The race was at 10 in the morning. Got there at 3. 9 o'clock, finally went for an X-ray, and that's when they found that I had a completely fractured femur. With my faith, and I always want people to know that, like I put on my Twitter that night, what happened, and I said, God is good, the glass is half full. You know, always taking something and trying to make it positive. Yeah, I had incredible peace, and that's definitely because of my faith. And my recovery's gone really well since then. So this was April 27th, and 10 weeks after the surgery, I was able to start shuffling again. You'll see here on the bottom left, 300 meters, July the 20th, it took me 1:35. So basically, that's all I could do at one time, was 300 meters. And I just went forward to March, and I knew I had to do 18 to 20K at 3 minutes and 27 seconds per kilometer. And I just did the math, and I just did the months and added it up, and so far I'm already surpassing that. I remember reading an article about Tara and Wesley, and there were so many things in it that was like, hey, that's me, or that appeals to me, or wow, what a similarity. So, you know, Christians in their faith, people who, they're here to serve other people. They're not in it for themselves. So the ultimate big goal, obviously, is to make it to Rio. So we're just waiting for the Olympic standards to be announced, and hopefully they'll be somewhere around maybe 2:29, we're guessing, and the qualifying period will likely be maybe start in January or April, you know, late winter, early spring. And that's when I went to Russia, and I went to the World Championships, my Team Canada shirt there. So I'd like to wear that shirt again, and hopefully that will be in Rio. So.